This show is brought to you by Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group and the German Development Corporation through GIZ.
Thank you. You are welcome to the Recovery Stories. On this show, we sit down with insurance beneficiaries, relevant stakeholders, and industry players to dive deep into the insurance claims processes in Ghana. On this show, we look at the do's, the don'ts, the myths, and the truths. And we always have an expert here to explain everything to every one of us. This show is brought to you by the Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group and the GIZ. My name is Ochiame Kwame, and I'll be your host, and I hope you are ready to learn as much as I am going to learn today. Thank you very much. You are welcome to the Recovery Stories.
Around 2019 December, Dad passed on at the hospital. I was really confused as to what to do.
I was told to report back the next day to give my statement. After all that was done, they finished, they called me that it was ready. I went in for it and I took it to my insurance company.
I had a call from the insurance office. They then told me that they've gotten all the documents and they will get back to me. Within two to 4 days, I had my money.
My name is Micah Teria Fenny.
Hi, my name is Edmond Nakao.
Hello, I am Veratan Saki.
Insurance pays. Notify, submit, and get paid.
You are welcome back to the Recovery Stories. And just as you know, every week we bring you experts to come and help you understand the insurance claims processes in Ghana. Today we are talking about fire insurance and how people who are affected can get their claims and get it quickly. Our guests in the studio are going to help us understand everything perfectly. We have one from the insurance industry and another one from the fire service. So for fire service, we have DO3 Aka Desmond, who is the Deputy National Public Relations Officer of the Fire Service. Please clap for him. I also have my own senior brother, Johnny Tete. I didn't want to miss the tone. Johnny Tete of the National Association of Ghana Insurance Agents, which is the NAGIA, to come and help us understand everything. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and you are welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So my first question comes to you, Dio. Today we are discussing the concerns of Ghanaians when it comes to fire insurance. I know that many rampant fires come up in Ghana. How many of these situations do we have that the houses are insured?
Right. Thanks for having us, and greetings to all your viewers as well.
Thank you.
We've had issues of fires since time immemorial. And then fire issues happen to us without limits or sometimes without borders. Fire actually is not a respecter of persons, and therefore we in the fire service have tried as much as possible to do our bit so as to facilitate the processes for the public acquiring their insurance claims. We do receive a number of these reports day in and day out. For instance, if you even go through the statistics, 2020 we had more than 300 applications. In 2021, we also recorded a little over 300. Even last year, that is 2021, we had a little over 300, as I earlier on indicated. So what we are trying to do is to actually help out as quickly as we can so that the affected persons could also be at least given what they require. And therefore, that is what we are on course in doing.
Thank you. Mr. Tete, can you explain to my fine viewers what fire insurance is and what are some of the benefits that people can enjoy from being a part of this product?
Thank you very much. Fire insurance, as the name suggests, is taking a fire policy to cover either your domestic property or your business premise. Now, under the fire policy, we have this standard policy, and under it, there are allied perils. And when we talk of allied perils, we talk of flood, earthquake, volcanic eruption, articles dropping from aircraft. That is, if you find yourself somewhere around East Legon, where almost every minute you have aircraft, hovering over. There's an extension there, and then we have others like, riots and civil commotion. That is, if you have a business premise and, once a while there's agitation amongst, the workers, they could end up damaging your property. So when you talk of fire, it is the fire we all know that could ignite and burn your property down. And then the allied perils are the things that I mentioned. So we always advise that if you want to take a fire policy, look at where you are, and then you consider taking some of these extensions. For example, if you find yourself in a hilly area, you wouldn't necessarily need a flood extension because you're already on top of that mountain. So, flood is a remote case to you.
So a person who takes a fire policy, when he pays a little bit more, he will be able to cover for things like natural disasters and floods and other unforeseen circumstances by paying a little more. And that's what we call the allied perils.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Sir, I was talking to some insurance beneficiaries and some of the people who have gone through the processes. And then they said that the number one challenge for them is the time, the distance or the measurement between the time when the incident happens and when they are able to get their claims. You see, all the time the industry is blaming it on you and you are blaming it on the industry. So please, can you please clarify what is responsible for the delays in the claims process?
Right, thank you very much for your question. One thing that we always ask our clients, so to speak, the affected persons, is to cooperate with us. Investigations are very difficult to even do in the first place. And one thing we've also identified is that most of the clients do not report the incident to us on time. And some of them do report to, in quote, inappropriate quarters. Once it is fire, you have no where to go than to come to fire service and to make a complaint. And then the investigation would commence. Most often than not, we have received reports that affected person's property has been gutted by fire, but it's not reported to us. But when that report is made to us, then the follow-up team goes to the scene and the investigation commences. Aside that, what also accounts for the delay is that once you make the claim, you report to us, and then we commence the investigation, you are supposed to help us with what we call some information to be able to conclude an aspect of our investigation. When the information is not forthcoming, it also contributes to the delays of us trying to work on the report for you. So in as much as we would want to ensure that these bottlenecks are dealt with, we would also appeal to our clients to also speed up a bit to help us to be able to help them. And then another challenge is that they are supposed to feed us with particulars of the affected property. Because if you say that you've insured your property, we may want to see an evidence that you have actually insured your property. Let's say a copy of the document, the insurance policy document. It has some details on it that will confirm when the policy was underwritten, and therefore it will also give us some details as to the commencement date, the sum assured, and all the other details that we may want to incorporate in our report. So when such information is delaying, it contributes to the delay.
But I want to ask a follow-up question. What, apart from getting the right documentation for the claims processes, what other reasons? I mean, if my house is burnt, I'm already traumatized. Probably my children and I are homeless, and now I'm trying to get another house, or I'm trying to get a place to stay. The insurance company is ready, and now you are investigating what? The house is burnt.
That is what I said. If the affected person is not, how do you call it, cooperating with us. For instance, if we have a cause to suspect that the fire was deliberately caused, and we have our clues, and let's say we want a confirmation, and you are delaying or you are denying us with that information, it is going to contribute to that. And then also, these reports are requested on fees you pay before they are released to you. So if the amount involved is also not forthcoming, it is definitely going to contribute to the delays that is there.
A person in Ghana that pays taxes has already lost his or her house, and then he's now coming to make a report. Fill form small to, you are taking money. My brother, please, what are your views on this?
Oh, I think what is said is in the right direction. You know, some things are statutory, so there's nothing you can do about it because it takes cost to do all that he's talking about. So if there is a fee that you have to pay to get the report, so be it, because they have to come to your place, you know, take whatever, you know, evidence they need to take, get back to the office, and then put them together, you see. And don't forget, you are waiting for that report to make a claim, you see. So you intend to benefit from the report that they are going to prepare for you. So I believe it is in the right order for them.
So
you know.
Between your industry and fire, and the fire service,
Yeah.
what is the measure of time? 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months? What is the measure of time that you cap it? Say, okay, go and do the investigation for 2 months or 3 months, come so that we can help this affected person. What arrangement do you have for time?
It depends. He even hinted you about something. When they suspect that the thing was deliberate, then they will have to go at all length and do their investigation. Because somebody has it at the back of the mind that I have this property, I've insured against fire. In the event that I suffer a loss, I'll be compensated. So this building is looking old. Why don't I, you know, raise it down and then go and make a claim?
Arson.
Arson, yes. You won't get it. Because they will establish for us that this thing was deliberately done. Then it turns out to be a criminal act, and then the law will deal with you. But granted that it is, you know, the normal, you know, fire that occurs, they have a time that they do theirs, and we also tell our insured that if you are having any challenges in obtaining any particular document that will help facilitate the process, you let us know. Whilst we'll be doing other things behind the scenes, awaiting the final report.
And based on what he said, I want you, in very, very simple terms, break it down. How can my people quicken the claims process and take off all the delays? But immediately after that, please tell us about the compulsory fire insurance for commercial entities.
All right, thank you very much, Ochame Kwame. The first thing that we want our clients to do is to report the incident, the fire incident, to us, to the nearest fire station, or possibly to the fire station that attended the incident. Once the report is made, you would ensure that you cooperate with them and provide the relevant information that they seek, including the time the incident happened and other information that they may require from you. The second one is your insurance policy copy of the document, so that they can verify as to whether the property that has been affected is actually insured. Then the third one is that you would also have to request for a copy of the investigative report at a fee. Once the minimum fee of 120 cedis is paid, your report will be worked on. And then also, because the investigation is very tedious, especially when we suspect that there may be an element of arson, that we have to be going back and forth. That is where we need the full cooperation of the affected person to help us to unravel the cause, the origin, and the circumstances that led to, so that if there is any liability, the report will capture, so that our friends in the insurance media would also know exactly what to do as to the payment of the claims. So in simple terms, this is what we need from our clients. And then also with a compulsory fire insurance certificate, I think it came to force somewhere in 2006. That is Act 724. That mandates every private commercial entity to acquire this fire certificate. What it means is that when you have this insurance on your premises, it protects you, your investment, and against any legal battles that may emanate from third party. So that if your premises has been designed for educational, for commercial activity, anytime any person comes in and is affected by either flood, fire, or any of the allied perils, as aforementioned by my insurance colleague here, you would be covered. And you as a property owner would not have so much burden to be, thinking of how to compensate or pay off the affected persons. So I believe that we have to do a lot more as stakeholders in the insurance space to educate the masses about the existence of that particular law.
Is it safe to assume that one with a fire insurance certificate would have already had his assets, the inventory of his assets taken already? So in case something happens, then that person will come back to the insurers and just show proof of it? Or must that person now go back to count the things that are already burnt?
No, you see, when we get to the fire scene and we are doing an assessment, we do what we call salvaging assessment, and then what is actually burnt, so that we know which ones were saved, which ones actually got lost in the fire, so that it helps the insurance company to determine the claims to pay to the affected person.
Let me sidetrack small. I know we are talking about insurance, but I think that it's also very imperative that you tell Ghanaians how to make sure that fires don't come at all. So I give you like 1 minute, please.
Right, thank you. We know that fire is a good master, but it becomes a very bad servant when we are unable to control it. The first point of call is to ensure that the elements of combustion, the elements of fire, do not come together to create the fire situation. But be as it may, as humans as we may be, there are certain fires that no matter what we do, we cannot prevent them from occurring. We have these accidental fires that do occur. And for that matter, we all have to shift some of the liabilities to the insurance company so that when it happens, they would help us. So first of all, we need to be able to keep our ignition sources in check. If we use electrical appliances like air conditioners, rice cookers, electric fans, and what have you, we must make sure that when we are not in need of them, we should off them, unplug them, and then we'll have our peace of mind. And then also, we should also have this relationship with our electrical engineers or contractors or electricians that have been certified by the Energy Commission to regularly come to our places of abode, whether commercial or domestic entities, and then check on our electrical installation and to see if they have the stability or the integrity to continue for whatever number of years or for the purpose for which they were installed. Once the checks are done and they can carry on, fine. If the checks are done and it requires rewiring, it requires that we procure new ones, we have to be able to, because these fires, most of these fires are caused by overage, wiring, installation. Others too are caused by inferior electrical gadgets that we use and all that. So once we're able to put all these things in check, I mean, the fires will be a thing of the past. And then we should also be concerned about housekeeping. And most often than not, we do not minimize clutter in our domestic storage places and even our warehouses and our commercial entities. So once we are able to ensure that our wares are arranged in such a way that there are enough spaces, we have ventilation and all that, the fires will automatically go down. Once our housekeeping is right on track, I mean, we will not have rodent experience where they will come and chew the insulation on our electrical cables and create this
put
fire.
Everything to boom.
Yes. So
thank you very much.
We need to do more.
Thank you very much. We have to do more. Yes, let's clap for him. And then, Mr. Tete, in your final words, I want you to share with us some of the experiences of people who had their properties burnt, but because you worked with them personally, they were now reinstalled and they are happily living back as happy Ghanaians.
Thank you very much, Ochiami. It's very true. Let's take a classical example. Two people having the same type of business, one having insurance and the other not having. And then the recent floods. You get to the premises and you see that the one who hasn't got the insurance is very, very devastated. So all that we tell people, it doesn't cost too much. You know, it's a fraction of what you are, your business, you know, capital. So you do this insurance, and in the event that you suffer this loss, the insurance company will put you back where you were prior to the insurance. And I have a client who always tells me, if I suffer a loss and you even give me 85% of what I lost, I know how to turn that money around and then hit the 100% mark. Juxtapose that one with the other person who didn't have insurance. You realize that that person will be out of business. So insurance is very, very beneficial. And I'll urge all business places, not business places alone, but even homes, domestic, you know, policies for people to, you know, take. Because your lifetime savings, you put up your 3-bedroom house, and like he mentioned, rodents could even attack, and then your wiring will be exposed, and then there will be this fire, the whole place will be razed down. You come to ground zero. So we always advise that, please, take a fire policy, and you always come back to where you were prior to the incident. So it's very beneficial to have a fire policy.
Insurance pays! Thank you very much, and stay tuned.
Around 2019 December, Dad passed on at the hospital. I was really confused as to what to do.
I was told to report back the next day to give my statement. After all that was done, they finished, they called me that it was ready. I went in for it and I took it to my insurance company.
I had a call from the insurance office. They then told me that they've gotten all the documents and they will get back to me. Within 2 to 4 days, I had my money.
My name is Micah Teria Fenny.
Hi, my name is Edmond Nakao.
Hello, I am Veratan Saki.
Insurance pays. Notify, submit, and get paid.
Insurance pays.
Notify, submit, get paid.
You are welcome back to the Recovery Stories on TV3, an initiative of the Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group and the GIZ. And it's time for my amazing audience to also ask my panel some questions. Please, let's clap for the audience already.
My name is Gabriel Ano. My question has to do with when you register for an insurance policy and you've been paying the premium for some number of years and nothing happens, let's say there's no fire outbreak or anything, what happens? Are they going to give you something for the period?
I would want to answer your question the other way around. So what happens if after day 1 of doing your insurance, within a week, your whole business premise is raised down? Then we ask ourselves, where are we going to get the money from to pay for that huge loss? Anytime that you take an insurance policy, you join a pool of people who share similar risk with you. So, in between the time that you have not suffered a loss, your colleague has also suffered. So we just take money from the pool, we sort that person out, and we expect the person to come and reinstate the policy so that when a future occurrence happens somewhere else, we'll be able to adequately, sort that person out. So it isn't like maybe you have insured for some number of years and you haven't suffered any loss, so maybe there should be some money given back to you. It is servicing people with whom you share similar risk with. So that is how insurance works.
Thank you very much. Insurance pays.
Notify, submit, get paid.
Well, I have learned a lot on this journey. I hope you have learned a lot too. And if you have other stories and more questions to ask, please follow us on Insurance Pays GAs on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And let's keep the conversation going. We need to develop Ghana by putting the right structures in place. Insurance pays.
Notify, submit, get paid.
So until next week when we meet again, same time, my name is Ochiame Kwame. Bye-bye.
This show is brought to you by Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group and the German Development Corporation through GIZ.